Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. I've been digging around in my winter clothes. So I'm a little bit dusty and they smell like mothballs. Do you know what mothballs are for, kids? They're so that little critters don't go in and eat all of your clothes while you have them stored for the summer or the winter. You throw some mothballs in there, presto changeo, no bugs eating your clothes, which I've had quite enough of over the years. Always should have used mothballs. Mothballs are like Shrek. They're life. Okay, so let's talk about men versus women, husbands versus wives, fathers versus mothers. In this video, I'm going to say some things. This is not an insult. This is pure facts, pure science. It has nothing, if it doesn't apply to you, has not. There is no, in my world, there is no man over woman or woman over man. There's just simple facts. You're supposed to say, that's interesting. Shakaama always comes up with this brand new stuff all the time. I'm so glad that I'm subscribed to him and have my notification bell clicked. Because you do have your notification bell clicked, right? All right. So, looked at the facts. Did my research. Neuroscientists. These are the people who are like one step better than doctors and looking at the human brain. They had nothing. they said the only thing that we could determine is the minor details in the actual physiology. Women have a better connection in the two hemispheres. Right? Like my dust. That means I'm a man. Women have a better connection with the two hemispheres of the brain. That means they switch back and forth. They switch back and forth more easy than men. But the neuroscientists said that that is negligible. So instead of going, they'll go, right? Doesn't really impact anything. She said, other than that, everything is same in the brain. Nothing to do with anything below the neck. Or even below the eyes, because men probably have a stronger bite than women. Bet you never ever heard of that. However, and to her knowledge, there hadn't been a study done to determine the compassionate nature of women, because the Huffington Post put out an article saying that women are more compassionate than men. She said there's nothing in her field of study, nothing in neuroscience that indicates any possibility of women being more compassionate than men. Why am I spitting? Would you all like me to do some ASMR videos? I've been researching them since apparently they're in the trending page. I don't know why she's in the trend, or he, was it a she or he? I don't know. It's the trending page looks like a TV guide. Literally, it's just a bunch of TV people on it. I've got some information about John McCain if you want to hear that. I'll do that in another video. If you all bombard me with, please do the John McCain video. Okay, so neuroscientists, nothing to indicate women being more compassionate than men. Social scientists. These are the behavioral scientists who look at the behavior of humans. And they did a vast study, in depth, over the years, and they researched everything you could about fathers. Because nobody has done any research about fathers. A lot of TV commercials are trying to cater to women and they talk about fathers. But they only say negative stuff to get very poor women of low intelligence and of low impulse to buy their products, so they insult fathers. However, anybody of any sort of note, any sort of pride, any sort of self-esteem will tell you that they love their fathers. Okay. How about if we come closer? What's going on here? All right. So, extensive study about fathers. Fathers, they found, according to the study, more compassionate, more nurturing, increases the intelligence of the children, increases the longevity, that means how long they stay alive, of the children. They are more successful in life compared to those without fathers, right? So everything you got to compare to, you don't compare to a bad mom, you compare to not having a father and not having a biological father. That means from my loins. Okay? And nothing beats a biological father. Nothing. Not adopted parents, not step parents, not the boyfriend, not the stepfather, not the big brother. However, in order of producing a good human, a father who goes in this order. Father and mom are together the entire time child is growing up to be an adult. Number one. Father who has equal visitation rights, step down here, with the child. A minus. Then it goes older brother who has taken on the role of the father. Older biological brother. The whole step stuff right out of there. And then a very distant whatever is adopted parents, not even step parents. Adopted parents, they seem to be a distant, what is that, fourth? And then we have the flip side of all of that are the complete horrors, the horrible impact on children. That is your step parents, that is your step brothers and sisters, that's your no father at all, at home at all, that is the boyfriend, that is the, all of that, all of those have this impact. The child is not smart enough, not as smart, the longevity, they don't live as long, they are more likely to be involved in some sort of nastiness going on at home, that is with the mother included. Let me say that right there, that's with the mother included. So this whole thing that, oh, men are this and men are that and men are toxic and blah, 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 blah. No, it's the men who actually protect the children. It's not the woman. In fact, more often than not in criminal family court, you will hear the case of the mom doing this, or the mom and the boyfriend doing this, or the mom and the stepdad doing this. You see any common denominator there? That's the actual data that's in the courts. So look that up if you want to go look that up. Now, how do you increase the child's IQ, intelligence? You allow the child to play with their biological father. Really? Yeah. And in fact, their IQ goes up further than a woman breastfeeding the child. How you like them apples? And for those who don't breastfeed their children at all, shame on you, first of all. And yeah, your child doesn't get the benefit of the increased IQ points, increased health, increased longevity. Right. So how is, what else was impacted? The lifespan of the child. Because the child will be protected by the father, a lot of things are right off the table, are just completely wiped off the table of this could happen to your child, this could happen to your home, right? The father, husband, the head of the household, completely wipes off the table a lot of bad potential things that could go wrong with the children and the household. So, because that's wiped away, it increases the lifespan of the children. Also increases lifespan of the wife. We already knew this. And also increases the lifespan of the husband. So if you are married, the husband also has an increased lifespan. Now, this is if we have a happy home. If you have an unhappy home, everybody in the entire household, their lifespan is reduced. And the absolute worst is a woman that stresses out the husband, right? And that is a woman who nag. Why don't you do this? You don't love me because you don't buy me stuff. I need a Lamborghini. I need a mansion. I need a palace. That stuff right there reduces the woman's lifespan and the husband's lifespan. So let's get back to the positive stuff. Okay. So perfect is breastfeeding, and the husband playing with the children, eating at the dinner table. Weird, huh? So if you eat at the dinner table, some more stuff is completely wiped off the table of bad potential stuff that can happen. Here we're talking about virginity, the loss of virginity early or later. Also the potential of being in danger surrounding virginity. If you know what I mean, leave a comment if you know what I mean, what I'm talking about, and explain to the other people what I'm talking about. Because I talk in code to avoid the YouTube stuff, and then people say, what was he talking about? He's always talking in code. I have to talk in code, okay? So when you have dinner at the table, what is that, nightly? 5 times a week, or 6 times a week, something like that. It completely removes bad boys, potential miscreant boyfriends. It removes all of that because knowing that the father is there removes the potential threats from the outside. And that goes for the son too. Okay, well, like I said, that there's that divide about the stepdad and the boyfriend, or the no dad at all. That stuff increases, doesn't decrease. Increases. Stepdad danger, stranger danger, happens more with the children. Without a man at all, happens more with the children, especially the little boys. But let's get back to the positive. Now, about nurturing. They did a physiological study and test on who's more nurturing, fathers or mothers. Now, all of the women are going to talk about, well, I breastfeed him. Well, you're supposed to. That's what you're designed to do. You also issued forth the child to begin with, right? You know what I mean by issued forth? Please leave a comment explaining what issued forth means in the comments for the people who don't understand my code. Now, so they hooked up the father and the mother. Then in another room, they had the actual child of the father and the mother. And I guess they had them watch TV or something. They did something to distract them. And so they would have the baby cry. And then what they monitored was, they had, had them all hooked up, kind of like this. So the baby would start crying. And guess who reacted first? Well, you already know, because, why would I make a video if I didn't have the answer to tell you that men reacted first? Now, why did the men react first? So, the baby crying, the men responded first. Physiologically, the men had the reaction in their body. We're not talking about they got up and went over and ran over to the baby carriage in the other room first. We're talking about physiologically, that without their input, without their subconsciously, without any sort of wanting to do it, the men reacted first. And no, it had nothing to do with the firstborn versus the secondborn versus the thirdborn, where, after the firstborn or the secondborn, you are of the mind of let them cry. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about the actual physiological responses. So the men were determined to be more nurturing. Also, with the daddy play, that's more nurturing. The woman, and one of the women complained, not in this study, but in something else, the woman complained, she says, well, I'm with the kid all day. And I do all of the boring stuff with the kid. I feed the kid. I change the kid. I walk the kid. I put the kid to bed. And I punish the kid, or I tell them no, or stuff like that. All the boring stuff, right? So when daddy comes home, all he does is play. Well, of course, it really isn't like that. I don't have any kids, by the way, so. This is just all studies. This is from a reporter, okay? I don't care about either gender. And let's talk about that word gender. The word gender is the scientific term. So if you want to talk about gender is made up, you chose the wrong word to use, because gender is the scientific term and gender has a specific definition and it's strict. This is probably why you're getting so much pushback on this whole gender is just made up. No, it is the scientific definition. It's just like saying thirst is when you are dehydrated. And somebody says, oh, thirst is made up. You can simply drink honey and you'll be fine for twice as long and not be thirsty. Well, then that's something else. That's a remedy. That has nothing to do with the word thirst. So the stuff that they're trying to put on the word gender has nothing to do with the actual word gender. It's a scientific term. Please understand your language. And if it's on purpose to destroy people's understanding of science and language, you got your own demons to deal with, right? Is that the correct term? Atheists, tell me what you would say. You've got your own cross to bear. Everything I know is a religious term, right? Okay, so daddy comes home and all he does is play. Well, of course, that's not true. Daddy comes home in a black neighborhood. Daddy comes home, and this is when mommy reads the list of who needs to be beat for the evening. Wait till your dad comes home and he's going to skin you alive. Right? That was a roller. But even subconsciously, the child understands discipline is a show of love and trust on the part of the kid that the father, daddy is not doing this because he doesn't like me. Dad wants me to do good. This is why he punishes me. This is why he dishes out punishment. This is why we live in a household that is strict, right? Okay, so the notion that dad only does fun stuff. Dad also hands out the chores. Mom may hand out some chores, but the real chores is what dad hands out. He's like, all right, Junior, this is what we're going to do. We're going to cut the lawn. We're going to rake the leaves. We're going to all the big stuff, all the stuff that really you don't want to do. Mom is like, make sure you sort out your clothes for when I wash them. I wish I had some mom chores. I have to do the daddy chores around my house because I'm not by myself. And Anubis is just, all he does is guard me. And he looks at the ghost in the house. If y'all want me to do the ghost story, I have a complete breakdown of what I've been going through since my roommate passed. All right. There you go. Hug your husband. Thank him. And if you're into that divorce stuff, which I don't believe in at all, don't get married and to begin with. If you believe in divorce, don't get married. This is for the younger women. Younger women. If you believe in that divorce stuff, don't get married. Just don't get married. What's the point of it? It's like the homosexual man that I met who he blamed that he lived in a small town. So he lives in a small town. So he got married, had a child, and then decided that he was homosexual. Then he moved out of the town, doesn't pay child support, doesn't even see the kid, nothing. I said, why would you do that? He says, I lived in a small town. They wouldn't understand. I said, well, you moved. You could have moved before then. You could have not done that and moved. He said it was expected of me to get married and have children in that small town. While I understand that, I have not gone through it with any of my arranged marriages. Haven't done them. I said, no, I don't know that girl. That girl is a peasant. I mean, what's the point of marrying her? If I'm going to marry somebody, I'm going to marry somebody who's up to my standards. My mother finally admitted the other day that her upbringing was not my upbringing. And she said, I didn't grow up with maids and butlers and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, Miss Shakaama, you are just, that's fantastic. She said, I know. She said, you have a completely different outlook on life. Yeah, I do. I mean, it was both of yours doing, my parents doing, but yes. And I appreciate that you finally admitted. I don't know what took, she just out of blue said it. I don't know what that was about. Maybe I said, oh, I wish I need a maid or something. Probably. Anyway, I have a final question. Because I'm going through this grief, mourning stuff, would you be completely bent out of shape if I started weeping on the camera? That's the question of the day. Thank you all for watching. You have a lovely day. Please leave a like. Thank you.